Wonder Woman issue 781, Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad writing with Marcio Takara on the art. So I had dropped this a few issues into all the Asgard and Earth and like all that shit.
Once it got mythological, Pete was like, all right, I'm tapping out. You and Connor can read it. And then once we get back to Earth, if it sounds like more my speed, I'll jump back in.
And and part of it was, I thought the chapter they did in the special, the anniversary special, I thought that was pretty solid. And it's not that I hate the writers' voices. I just a lot of the stuff they were doing in the mythical realm just felt like a time waster, to be honest. So I was curious enough to check it out. So this is, and it does work. Honestly, this issue does work decently as a jumping on point. There's definitely references to things that were happening in the book. Obviously, Diana and Deadman are pretty chummy, so that's something that was obviously comes out of the previous arc.
Here's the thing. I like to think I'm pretty well versed in Deadman. Have we ever seen him like long-term possessing a corpse in this way? I can't remember it.
I can't think of an example. But it didn't. But at the same time, though, it didn't surprise me, which makes me think I have seen it.
Well, I like it because, he doesn't have to possess somebody that's not willing, right? Like, and just take over their whole thing. He went to the morgue, jumped in a dead body, and now he's like, all right, we have a time limit because this body's gonna start rotting.
Yeah, and, he's got like a. I mean, she jokes later on that he looks like a vampire. So I guess like that, it'll look like a vampire for a while, and then he'll just start to look more and more like a zombie as time goes on.
And he has the autopsy marks on his chest that stick out through the shirt. I just thought, Takara's art here, I was blown away. I was not ready for it to look this good.
Oh yeah, Takara's a really solid artist.
Yeah, but this took a whole new level. I feel like this.
I remember Takara. What book was it? Takara was on, but it was they were alternating with another artist, and the other artist was one that I liked even more. So Takara's art
Flash.
Was it Flash? But it kind of suffered almost because it was like up against something else that So it was I think this shows though that very dependable artist, Takara on their own. So so the start of the book is Diana and Etta just at lunch talking about her being back, what's going on. The main thing that comes out of it is that she's avoiding Steve. She doesn't want it to seem like she's avoiding Steve, but she kind of is. She's just scared to go see Steve. So that's because that story in the special was about Steve like missing her and how he was going through that loss, and like because of that, it was kind of exciting, the idea that okay, like we're now seeing it from her perspective, but she's intimidated to go back and interact with him. But Dr. Psycho ends up on the TV.
This guy,
I know.
I'm so glad that this isn't one of the rotating cast of villains. I feel like we need more Dr. Psycho because he is so. There's not one ounce of sympathy for Dr. Psycho.
No, he's a little bastard. That's just what he is, and he should be. Or Dr. Sizgo. I'll be honest, I could, if you'd asked me before I read this issue what Dr. Psycho's actual name was, I would never be able to
Which
tell
is
you.
why he's called Dr. Psycho, because I think it's pretty close.
Very memorable. But they see him on the news, talking about stuff, and he's got a new book coming out, and like Diana's all like, I'm gonna have to go and check up on this little shithead because he's up to no good, because he always is.
He's talking about on a news network that that he's he has his book out.
Yes,
this is the first thing I read this week. It's been a minute.
My little struggle.
Yes. And so of course she doesn't trust that, so she goes to the station where he's broadcasting from, and just completely creepy scene. Just his eyes poking through.
That's why I point out, the art of her arriving there and stopping the car. It's all. I think what I like most about the art actually is the coloring. I like the kind of the golden tone to everything. Yeah. It's got a warm color palette, which I really like. But the eyes behind the window as it rolls down, and he's basically like, "Oh, you want an autograph? That'll be $50." And she's like, "Come on now, I can smell your schemes from a mile away. What's going on?" And she drops a Klingon reference. She says,
He does?
"Justice isn't a dish you can serve cold."
Oh man.
Old
I did
Klingon
not
proverb:
realize.
"Revenge is a
Yeah.
dish best served cold."
That is fantastic on the writer's parts.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but anyways, basically she's like, "I'm going to expose your schemes," and he's like, "Look, I have nothing to say to you, woman. Go away. Bye bye." Like even the way he says bye bye at the end as he's rolling up the window, just like has a bit of a tone to it, which is really nice.
Yeah, he's talking down to her, even though, as we know, he's very diminutive.
So what I really liked about it, so the reason why she actually ends the conversation is because she hears someone yelling for help, and she flies off, and she gets to this construction site, and there's a construction worker who's like, standing at a ledge, and he's going to jump. And very quickly, the way he starts talking to her, it becomes clear that this is Dr. Psycho, who just took control of this guy to distract her so he could get away. And just everything about this scene where he makes this guy sort of like just fall off the ledge as he goes, "Ta-da!" Or no, he goes, "Ta-ta. Ta-ta, Diana."
Ta-ta, Diana.
Yeah. And she has to like pull him up, and the guy wakes up and becomes himself as he's dangling with the lasso. He's like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And she's like, "It's okay, I've got you. It's okay." I like this because this was a really nice example of what Dr. Psycho can do. It shows his threat. He's such a little shit. It made me realize actually that Dr. Psycho and Maxwell Lord do share some similar power set stuff between them. But
yeah, definitely. And it's with Max Lord though, it seems to be more in a how can it benefit him, because he really believes in an order, right? Where with Psycho, he's just all about himself. How's this going to benefit him? So I do like that there is a difference. Like they're two sides of the same coin, But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so she goes to Deadman. Her logic here is that she has to like sort of like deal with any emotional stuff she's dealing with because it can be exploited. And I feel like she's focusing on like the sword she's got from the dude that she met. Was it Siegfried?
Yeah, it's Siegfried Soyd Graham.
Yeah, so this is obviously some of the stuff that's more connected to the last arc. So honestly, it's not too much to deal with. It's just a MacGuffin. She has to deal with it, and I wasn't really left caring or wondering, about any details. I was just kind of cool with it because what I like about this is that ultimately she's going to realize that her avoiding Steve is going to be the real weakness emotionally. Like if he's going to exploit an emotional weakness, it's going to be that. But she goes to Deadman, who's in this corpse body, and he's living in like a mansion that's been abandoned for now because no one's like dealt with it after whoever died. I don't know if he ever says it was the guy who died that he's in, he's in. If it was his place, or if it's just someone else's place that's been left abandoned, but it doesn't really matter.
No.
But he holds the sword, Siegfried's sword, and it tells him where his remains. Yeah. And it's like, okay, what's left of the body? At least we can go find it and we can, put it at rest. And what's interesting is you think she's going to see Steve before she goes. Because we cut to Steve and it looks like Wonder Woman, but she's all in shadows, kind of weird. And then the speech bubble is kind of weird as well because it's all jagged and it says, "Yes, I am she. I am Wonder Woman," like almost like a robot. And immediately tries to kill Steve. And she's got like it's not a Joker face, but she's smiling kind of weird at him. It's very creepy.
It's very Uncanny Valley, right?
It's like a doll. It's like she's she's definitely fake, whatever she is. And she punches the shit out of Steve a little bit. He eventually pulls out a gun, and when he shoots her though, she shatters almost not quite. I wouldn't say quite like glass. It's more like
She definitely fractures.
Yeah, but it's like she fractures in this kind of weird way where it leaves a hole, and it's all these like shattered parts of her. It's almost like she's made it of like I don't know, probably some alien material. Knowing
or like
comics.
Crystal, right?
Yeah, but it's very flaky. It looks like a lot of flakes as it's flying back. And then we cut to Dr. Psycho, who's going to pick up something that he's bought from a mysterious, black market dealer. And there's a little joke here with a guy at the door who's got like a little, like, slidey peephole. Can't see him because he's too short.
I'm right here, you dullard.
Yeah.
I just, man, taking shots at Psycho, not just because he's short, but because he's terrible.
Yeah, I think Joe makes him work. I think his dialogue, which I think this book does a really good job at, He's saying things like dullard and like the way he speaks to Wonder Woman. They make him such a little shit that it's so fun to watch him like get shit on. Like it really is. So this guy's procured whatever this. We don't get to see what it is, but he's got it in a guitar case because he doesn't have like another case for it. And the little joke here is that Psycho made him think he was looking at stacks of cash, but it's actually just bits of blank paper. So he's living. Classic Dr. Psycho. I mean, really.
Yep.
And then we cut to Diana and Deadman on the plane. And she explains that sometimes it's nice to just enjoy the trip and like not be in control for a change, which is why they're not just flying normally to where they're going. And she talks a little bit about Steve again. And the end of the issue though is that she looks out the window of the plane and she sees multiple fake Dianas, so just like the one Steve fought, presumably, all flying through the air next to the plane. And it says next nightmare at 20,000 feet. If the next issue is all set in this plane, I'll be delighted. I don't think it will be, but that'd be a really fun.
But that'll be cool,
fun
right?
Story. Yeah. I thought this was really good. Obviously, there's some sort of threads that are lingering from the previous arc that I didn't finish, but I don't think it hurts too much.
This is a good place to jump on because they're kind of just hinting towards stuff. So like, you don't need to be intimately aware of her relationship with Siegfried in Valhalla. You just have to know she's returning this warrior's sword to its final resting place, which is a very Diana thing to do, right?
The Dr. Psycho stuff felt nice and jump-onable. Everyone reacting to her being back and her reluctance to see Steve. Like, maybe I'd say if you haven't read the story from the special, it'd be worth reading, but you don't need to. Like, as long as you know she was gone and she's back now, that's really all you need to know, and you can jump in here. I thought it was good. I really liked the art.
Yeah, Takara's art really stood out to me. I was like, this looks great. Just his Diana is really, like, she feels solid.
I like her voice. I like her voice with the other characters, and I especially think Dr. Psycho's a lot of fun to read. So I'm back on board, honestly. Like, I had a pleasant time with this book. I never read the backup, admittedly.
So I did, and I'll make it quick because this looks like it's setting up stuff in the Wonder Woman adjacent worlds.
Yeah, because it's setting up the Amazon crossover thing that's happening next year.
Yeah, so they're at the Fortress of the Bana Migdal Amazons that's in Korak, and they're basically recruiting new Amazons. And so they bring these 3 women there, and they all give them weapons, and it's like a trial by combat. But this one lady, it figures out, like, because she doesn't grab, so on the tray there's guns, but she picks up like the staff, and they question her, why did you take the less lethal option? And she is like, well, if people have to fight tooth and nail for this tribe, they want to be here, and if they want to be here, that we have something in common, so why do I want to kill them? And she passes and the other 2 don't, and they go to fire on her, and you come to find out the guns are not loaded. And the queen there, who's ever in charge, it's not Artemis, what's the name? Anyways, the leader of the Bana Migdal is like, dispose of them, so they got to take them out. And they leave. You get a scene how they celebrate and what it means to become the newest Bana Migdal. And as they cut her hand, she basically signs in blood that she's there. And then a chimera attacks, which is a lion with the wings of a bat and a tail of a scorpion. And Artemis leads them into battle with her ginormous axe. So it was pretty good. The art it matches Takara's pretty well. Like, the lines are real clean, and the just the breakdown of the action is really well handled. There's a lot of panels though, so this made the short read feel a little bit longer. So I don't know if that's what they're going for, but the final page reveal that it's a chimera is pretty cool. It looks like Greece is attacking, and I'm wondering if this, or not Greece, but the Olympians, if this has something to do with Wonder Girl and what Hera's got going on there, and kind of what we saw with Artemis trying to recruit her, trying to find out what Yara's up to. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's also the voice that Vita Ayala does here is spot on. I've had some problem with their work before where it feels like the voices are just off enough that it's weird. Some of the Bat Family stuff that they did during Future State, it was more miss than hit. Here, I feel like it's all on, mainly because I'm not familiar with a lot of these characters, save Artemis. So it was pretty good. It was worth it if you have time and want to go back and visit. It's pretty good.
Okay. What you read in the book?
So the first story, I am going to give an 8 toward 2. And then the backup, I'll give a 7.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with the 8 on the main story. I had a good time with it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next issue. It's good. I'm happy to be reading Wonder Woman again.